Jason Cole stood alone in the cold, gray room. It was silent, except for the low hum of the lights above. The funeral was over. His stepfather, Ambassador Varix of the alien planet Thrian, was gone forever. Jason never felt close to Varix. He had only known the man for a few years, and most of the time Varix was traveling through space or busy in alien meetings. But Jason respected him. The man had married Jason's mother and gave them both a better life. Now, both his mother and Varix were gone. Just as Jason was about to leave the room, a strange buzzing sound came from the wall. A glowing circle appeared. On the screen beside him was a hologram message from Varix, recorded before his death. Jason Cole, the message began. Varix's voice was deep and calm. By Thrian law, you have been chosen as the guardian of my final request. Accept this duty, and you shall protect something far greater than you understand. Jason frowned. Guardian of what? Before he could think further, the door slid open. His stepsister, Lysa, stepped in. She was tall, elegant, and half alien. Her skin had a faint shimmer, and her eyes were bright purple. Lysa, Jason said. I thought you were still on Thrian. I came back for the funeral, she said, then stepped aside, scared to deliver her. A second figure entered. Jason's eyes widened. A girl about his age walked in silently. She had smooth silver hair that flowed like water and glowing, blue eyes that watched him without blinking. This is Selyra, Lysa said. My best friend. Jason blinked, confused. Okay? Why is she here? She was left to you, Lysa said calmly. What? Left to me? She's not a pet. Jason snapped. It's Thrian inheritance law, Lysa explained. Selyra was under my father's protection. Now that he is gone and you're next of kin, the guardianship passes to you. Refusing it could be considered a violation of alien law. Jason felt like the floor had dropped beneath him. You can't be serious. I am, she said. Selyra has no family. If you don't accept her, the Thrian government will take her hand. Trust me, you don't want that to happen. Jason looked at Selyra again. She stood silently, her face unreadable, but something in her eyes told him she understood everything. I don't know what to do, Jason said softly. Lysa walked over and placed a hand on his shoulder. Just keep her safe. That's all. That night, Jason tried to sleep, but his mind was spinning. Why would Varix leave him a person? What kind of world did this alien law come from? Hours passed, and he finally closed his eyes. But just as he was drifting off, he heard his door click open. Jason sat up fast. The light from the hallway glowed around a slim figure standing at the door. It was Selyra. Selyra, what are you doing? She stepped in without answering. Her movements were quiet, almost floating. She walked over to the edge of his bed. My room is cold, she said simply. Jason sat frozen. I can give you a blanket. Selyra tilted her head. Your bed is large enough for two. Thrian rooms are often shared during the cold season. Jason's heart was beating fast. Where? Not on Thrian. I know, she said, and without waiting, she climbed in beside him. Jason didn't move. He stared at the ceiling, unsure of everything. Why me? He whispered. Why did he leave you to me? Selyra didn't answer right away. Her voice was quiet, soft like the wind. Because he trusted you. Jason didn't know what that meant. But one thing was clear. His life had just changed forever. Jason woke up before the sun. A strange warmth pressed against his side. For a second, he thought he was dreaming. But then he saw her Selyra curled beside him, sleeping peacefully. Her silver hair shimmered in the morning light. Her breathing was slow and calm. She looked like a sleeping star. Jason sat up slowly, trying not to wake her. His heart still raced from the night before. Why had she come into his bed? And what did she mean when she said, "They'll come for me soon"? Jason got up, grabbed a shirt, and walked to the kitchen. His hands shook as he poured a glass of water. Everything felt unreal. A few days ago, he was just a normal guy. Now, he had an alien girl sleeping in his bed and mysterious messages from a dead stepfather. The sound of soft footsteps made him turn. Selyra had entered the kitchen. She wore the same long robe as before, her silver hair flowing down her back. "Good morning," she said in a calm voice. "Yeah, good morning," Jason replied. "Did you sleep okay?" "Yes, your bed is soft." Jason scratched his head, unsure what to say next. "Listen, about last night, I was cold," she said, simply, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. Jason gave a nervous laugh. "Right? Of course. Cold." Selyra walked to the window and looked outside. Her glowing eyes reflected the light. "This place. It feels strange." Jason stepped beside her. "It's Earth. Everything here is strange, especially to aliens." "Not just an alien," she said. "I was born on a ship between stars. I've never lived on one planet for long." Jason looked at her. "So, why were you always with my stepfather?" "He saved me," she said. "I was taken from my home when I was young. Sold, traded, atoned. Remember my real family? Atoned. But Varrics bought my freedom." Jason's face turned serious. "Do you really have no one else?" "No one. That's why I'm yours now." Jason frowned. "Don't say it like that. You're not a thing. You're not mine. You're just staying here. For now." Selyra smiled softly. "Then I will stay." Later that day, Jason tried to go back to his normal life. He worked on a small home computer system, checked messages, and made lunch. But something kept bothering him. Every time he looked up, Selyra was there watching. Silent, calm, almost too calm. She never asked questions. She didn't check her phone. She didn't eat unless Jason reminded her. She just watched and waited, like she was expecting something to happen by evening. Jason couldn't take it anymore. "Selyra, what are you waiting for?" She blinked. "I'm waiting for the ones who will come." Jason's stomach turned. "Who?" "I don't know," she said, "but I feel them in the shadows." That night, Jason tried to sleep again, but something felt off. Around midnight, he heard a clicking sound. He got out of bed and followed the noise to the hallway. Click, click, click. He pressed his ear against the wall. There, behind the metal panel, was a faint buzzing, a soft hum. Something mechanical. Jason pulled out his old toolbox and opened the wall panel. Behind it was a small box-alien technology. It was glowing. "What the?" Suddenly, Selyra appeared behind him. "You found it?" she said quietly. Jason jumped. "You scared me." "That device connects this house to the 3N network," she said. "Your stepfather used it to hide messages. Secrets." Jason stared at the glowing machine. "Secrets? What kind of secrets?" "Okay," Selyra touched. The device flickered, then displayed a strange map of galactic route with Earth at the center. "He was hiding something powerful here," she whispered. "And now they know." "Who knows?" Jason asked again, feeling panic grow in his chest. Selyra looked up at him, her glowing eyes serious. "The ones who sold me. The ones who want me back. They found me, and they're coming." Jason's heart pounded. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "'Cause I wasn't sure if I could trust you," she said. "Now I know." Jason swallowed hard. "Then, what do we do now?" Selyra took a step closer. Her voice was soft, but strong. "Now, we survive." Jason stood frozen, staring at the red word flashing on every screen in the house. Incoming. His hands felt cold. His heart beat faster. Selyra didn't move either. Her glowing blue eyes were locked on the screen. Her face, but Jason could feel the tension in the air. "What does it mean?" he asked, his voice shaky. "They're near," Selyra said softly. "The warning system detects alien signals. It means a Thrian ship, or something worse, is in this area." Jason looked out the window. The night was quiet. Too quiet. "We need to hide," he said. "Right now?" "No," Selyra replied. "We need to prepare." Jason followed her back into the hallway, where the open wall panel still glowed. Inside, alien wires and blinking lights revealed more than just a simple system. It looked like a hidden lab. Jason knelt beside it. "Did my stepfather build all this?" "Yes," Selyra said. "This house is not normal. It was built as a sleeper unit." Jason frowned. "What's a sleeper unit?" "Secret base," she explained. "It's hidden under a normal home, used to protect or hide things from the galaxy." Jason ran his fingers along the wires. "So my stepfather was hiding something here." Selyra nodded. "Something powerful. Something they want." Jason pulled open more panels. Behind one, he found a small metal box with a symbol glowing on a Terran triangle with a line through the center. "What is this?" he asked. Selyra's eyes widened. "The Thrian core seal. That's ancient tech. Very rare. Very dangerous." Jason's curiosity grew. Then why was it hidden inside the wall? Selyra touched the box gently. "Because it holds something. It's not just data. A living code. A key." Jason took a deep breath. "Key to what?" But before Selyra could answer, the floor beneath them shook slightly. Boom. They both looked up. A light above flickered, and a loud thud came from the roof. "They've landed," Selyra whispered. Jason jumped to his feet. "We have to get out of here." "No," she said firmly. "They'll be watching the exits. We must go deeper. Deeper." Selyra moved to the far wall and placed her hand against it. A hidden panel slid open, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. Jason blinked. "You're kidding me?" "There's a second layer under this house," she said. "Your stepfather built it to protect the artifact and me." Jason grabbed a flashlight. "All right, let's go." They climbed down carefully. The stairs creaked. The air was cooler below, almost frozen. The underground room looked like a command center. Screens, wires, and strange glowing shapes lit the walls. "This is insane," Jason whispered. "All of this under my house." Selyra looked around. Variks trusted no one. Only family. Only you. Jason felt a strange mix of pride and fear. He had never felt special before, but now everything was changing. His life wasn't normal anymore. He wasn't just some guy. He was the last link in something bigger. He looked around the room. In the center stood a platform with a black cube floating above it. "What's that?" "Core," Selyra said. "It connects the 3N network to this planet, and it stores something. Someone." Jason stepped closer. "Someone." Selyra nodded. "Your stepfather didn't just save me. He saved something from the war. A voice, a mind, a memory of a great 3N warrior." Jason stared at the cube. "Is it alive?" "Not fully," she said. "But if they get it, they'll bring it back, and it won't be peaceful." Jason stepped back. "So what do we do?" "Destroy it." "No," she said. "We protect it." Suddenly, the screens lit up again. This time, a shadowy figure appeared, blurry, with glowing red eyes. "Hand over the girl," the voice growled. "We'll take her by force." Jason's blood turned cold. "How are they watching us?" he whispered. Selyra looked up at the camera. "They've hacked the system." Jason grabbed a pipe from the side of the wall and smashed the screen. Sparks flew. "We're not giving her to anyone." The ground shook again. A louder boom, this time closer. Selyra looked at him, her face serious. "They're breaking in." Jason looked around. "Do we have weapons?" Selyra held out her hand. A thin blue blade of energy formed in her palm. I do. Jason blinked. Remind me not to make you mad. She gave a small smile. Come on, Jason said, grabbing his old metal bat. Let's defend our secrets. Jason stood still, his grip tightening around the metal bat in his hands. That voice, it wasn't normal. It was deep, cold, and somehow familiar. Selyra was shaking. Her glowing blue eyes flickered as she stared at the wall. He's supposed to be dead, she whispered again. Jason stepped closer to her. Who was that voice? Selyra's lips parted slowly. His name was Malik. He wasn't just a warrior. He was the one who owned me before your stepfather saved me. Jason felt anger rise in his chest. Owned you, like a slave. Yes, she said. On Threon, some beings are seen as tools, weapons. I was born from a genetic lead, engineered for control and power. Malik by me to use me in war. Jason clenched his jaw. But you escaped? No, she said softly. I was rescued by Varix. He risked his own life to take me away. He told Malik I was no longer property. I was free. Malik swore he'd find me again. Jason looked back at the wall where the voice had come from. Then that means he's alive and close. Selyra nodded. Think he wants me back. Not because he cares, but because I'm the key. Jason turned sharply. You keep saying that. What does it mean? Selyra hesitated. Then she walked toward the floating black cube. The Korant touched it. The surface shimmered, and a light spread across the room. Jason gasped. A hologram appeared. Tej, it showed a star map, alien symbols, and then, recording. Ambassador Varix's face lit up the room. If you're watching this, the message said, then I am gone, and the secret I protected is now yours. Jason listened closely. This girl, Selyra, is not just a life I saved. She is something more. Her body carries the imprint of the Threan seal, a biological code that can activate ancient weapons or lock them away. Jason turned to look at Selyra in shock. She doesn't just open doors, the message continued. She decides who holds power. That's why they all want her. The hologram paused for a moment. Then Varix's face grew more serious. And Jason, if you're hearing this, it means I chose you. Not because of blood, but because of heart. You're human. You're different. You're not born for war, but you will fight for what's right. That's why I made you her guardian. Not just to protect her, but to protect the galaxy. The message ended. Silence filled the underground room. Jason felt his knees go weak. He sat down slowly, his mind spinning. I was chosen, he whispered. Selyra sat beside him. Yes, Varix told me, just once. He said, humans may be flawed, but they are the best protectors when it matters most. Jason let out a breath. I'm not a soldier. I'm not even special. Selyra looked at him, her face soft. You're to me. Jason met her eyes. He saw something new in her trust, maybe even hope. But before he could speak, the ground shook again. Dust fell from the ceiling. Jason jumped up. We need to move. If Malik is alive, he won't stop. Suddenly, the lights dimmed, and the core pulsed with a loud hum. A deep robotic voice echoed through the room. Selyra's bond has been confirmed. Human protector identified. Jason Cole. Jason stepped back. What's happening? Selyra looked shocked. It's recognizing you as my bonded one. Jason blinked. Bonded. What does that mean? Selyra touched his arm. On Threon, bonding is rare. It's more than protection. It's a link between minds, souls. I didn't choose it. The core did. Jason felt a strange warmth in his chest. The cube glowed brighter. Symbols circled around him and Selyra. The voice returned. Bond complete. Energy field active. Warning enemy presence. confirmed inside outer perimeter. Jason turned to her. They're inside. Selyra nodded. They found us. Jason grabbed his bat again. Then let's make them regret it. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the underground tunnel. Lights burst, sparks flew, and a giant figure stepped into the doorwayed arc armor. Red eyes and a voice like thunder. Give her back, boy. She is mine. Jason stepped in front of Selyra. No, she's not yours. Jason lay on the cold metal floor, struggling to breathe. His chest burned from the dark blast Malik had sent through him. Every muscle in his body ached, but he didn't care. His only thought was Selyra. She was beside him now, holding his hand tightly. Her face showed fear, but also anger. Pure, glowing energy crackled around her skin like blue lightning. You hurt him, she said in a low voice, looking up at Malik. You'll regret that. Malik stood tall, his dark armor shining under the flickering lights. His red eyes stared at Selyra with hunger and control. You belong to me, he growled. You are made to serve. That human is weak. He can't protect you. Selyra stood slowly, helping Jason sit up. Then she took a step forward, placing herself between Jason and the enemy. I may have been created in a lab, she said, but I was never yours. You lost me the day Varix freed me, and now I choose him. Malik's eyes narrowed. Then you've chosen death. He raised his hand again, preparing another blast. Jason shouted, no. Before the energy wave could fire, Selyra's eyes glowed bright blue. She lifted both hands, and a shield of light exploded between them. The blast from Malik struck the shield and bounced off, crashing into the wall with a loud bang. Selyra turned to Jason, her face serious. We can't win this fight alone. We have to run. Jason nodded, trying to stand. His legs were weak, but his spirit was strong. Where do we go? He asked. There's an emergency tunnel below the core room, she said. Huh. It leads into the forest, far away from the house. Guide. Jason leaned on her shoulder as they moved quickly across the lab. Malik shouted behind them, smashing machines and walls as he chased them. You can't escape me, girl, he roared. They reached the back of the room. Selyra pressed her palm to the floor, and a small square door slid open. Beneath it, a spiral staircase led into darkness. Jason looked down. Seriously? Another secret tunnel? Selyra gave a small smile. Varix liked secrets. They climbed down quickly. As they moved deeper, the sounds of Malik faded, but they knew he wouldn't stop. Jason coughed. Why does he want you so badly? 'Cause I can unlock the vaults of Threon, she explained. Inside them are ancient weapons ones that could destroy planets or rule galaxies. Jason shook his head. Why do you have that power? I didn't choose it, she said. It was put inside me before I was born. I was designed for war, but I want peace. Jason looked at her, breathing hard. Then I'll help you fight for that peace, no matter what it takes. Reached the end of the tunnel. A metal hatch blocked the exit. Selyra pressed her hand to it. Nothing happened. Jason frowned. What's wrong? She looked scared. The bond between us it's weak now because you're hurt. I can't open it alone. Jason took her hand. Then let's do it together. They both touched the hatch. It glowed brightened, then opened with a loud hiss. Fresh air rushed in. We're in the middle of a dark forest. Jason looked around. Where now? Selyra pointed toward a distant hill. There's an old Threon beacon there. If I can reach it, I can call for help from someone I trust. They started running. Jason's body hurt, but he kept going. He had to protect her. He had to stay strong. Behind them, the ground exploded. Trees snapped. Malik had followed. Run, Jason shouted. Selyra stopped suddenly. She turned, her eyes full of fire. I won't run anymore. Jason grabbed her arm. What are you doing? "Okay, I'm tired of being hunted," she said. "It's time to end this." Before Jason could stop her, she stepped into the open field and faced Malik. "You want me?" she shouted. "Come and try." Malik laughed. "Gladly." He charged forward, his blade glowing with dark energy. Selyra closed her eyes, and her entire body lit up like a star. The power inside her burst out in waves, shaking the earth. Jason watched in shock. The ground cracked, the sky turned blue. With energy, Selyra lifted off the ground, floating. "I'm not your weapon," she said, her voice echoing across the trees. "I'm your end." With one final blast of light, she hit Malik with a force so strong it shook the forest. The enemy flew back, crashing into the mountain wall behind him. Smoke rose. The earth was still. Jason ran to her as she dropped to her knees, breathing heavily. "You did it," he said, holding her shoulders. "No," she whispered. "He's not finished yet, but I've weakened him." The sky darkened as the massive black ship hovered above the forest. Its sharp wings spread wide like a bird of death. No lights, no sound, only a deep humming that shook the trees. Jason stood frozen, looking up. That ship. Did look like anything I've ever seen. Selyra's face was pale. Her glowing eyes stared hard at the ship. "It's the Void Fleet," she said quietly. "They are older than Threon, more powerful. They don't take sides. They take what they want." Jason swallowed hard. "And what do they want?" She looked at him, her voice full of fear. "Okay." The ship began lowering slowly toward the ground. From its underside, a dark beam of light stretched down, touching the earth like a finger. Jason grabbed Selyra's hand. "We need to run again." She shook her head. "No, running won't work this time, okay? They can track me anywhere." "Then what do we do?" Selyra looked into his eyes. "We fight. Together." Jason hesitated. K was just a human, normal guy. He had no armor, no alien powers. But when he looked at her, something changed inside him. She wasn't just an alien anymore. She was his person. Someone who trusted him completely. He nodded. "Okay, I'm with you. All the way." Just then, the black beam flickered, and three strange beings stepped out of it. They were tall, with long arms, smooth dark skin, and faces like masks. No mouths, only glowing white eyes. They made no sound as they moved toward them. Jason stepped forward. "What are they?" "Void collectors," Selyra whispered. "They speak without words. They break bonds. They turn light into dust." Jason tightened his grip on his metal bat. "Well, let's see if they can handle steel." The first collector raised its hand. A wave of energy pushed forward, but Selyra raised her hand too. A blue wall of light formed between them, blocking the wave. Jason looked at her, amazed. "You're getting stronger." Selyra nodded slowly. "Because of you." "Me?" said, confused. "Yes," she replied. "When the core bonded us, it wasn't just a link, it was a transfer. A human soul is rare in the galaxy. It gives life energy. It gives freedom." Jason blinked. "You mean I make you stronger?" Selyra smiled. "You make me complete." Jason didn't know what to say. For once, his mouth had no words, but his heart beat faster. Somehow, in the middle of chaos, he felt safe with her. The second Void Collector stepped forward. The Dean raised its arms, and the sky darkened more. Shadows formed into shapes, giant black hands that reached toward them. Jason grabbed Selyra's hand again. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Let me protect you." Blue energy flowed through her body and into his. For a moment, Jason could feel her thoughts, her emotions, her loneliness, her pain, and her love. Yes, love. Selyra's eyes opened. They now glowed brighter than ever before. She stepped forward, both hands lifted high, and shouted in a voice that echoed through the air, "I am not your weapon. I am not your key. I am my own." A blast of blue light shot from her body, hitting all three void collectors at once. The black shadows vanished. The creatures froze, then cracked, and fell apart into dust. The dark beam vanished. The ship above them gave a loud, metallic cry, then slowly backed away, lifting into the clouds and disappearing. Jason stood in shock. "You did it." Selyra turned, her legs weak. She almost fell, but Jason caught her. "I didn't do it alone," she said softly. "You gave me the strength." He held her close, his voice low. "You're not alone anymore." They sat down on a rock under the trees, the forest now quiet again. "Jason," she said after a long pause, "do you understand what this bond means?" "I think so," he said. "It's not just about protection. It's connection." "Yes," she said. "We share energy, life, emotion. If I fall, you feel it. If you suffer, I feel it too. It is forever." Jason smiled. "Then I guess we're stuck with each other." Selyra leaned her head on his shoulder. "I wouldn't want it any other way." Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, Jason's wrist device beeped. A new message flashed on the screen. "Warning. Core location compromised. Malik is alive. He has the signal." Jason looked at Selyra. She stood up slowly, her face turning serious again. "If Malik has the signal, then he knows where the core is." Keeson stood beside her. "Then we go back," he said. "We end this." Selyra nodded. Together. The forest was quiet again, but Jason and Selyra knew peace wouldn't last. They had defeated the void collectors. They had escaped Malik once. But now, the final message was clear. Malik was alive, okay? He had found a core. Jason looked at Selyra as the message flashed on his wrist screen. "We have to stop him," he said. Selyra nodded. "If he takes control of the core, he can restart the war. He'll turn planets into ashes." Jason grabbed her hand. "Then we fight. Not because we're strong, but because we won't let him win." They returned to the secret tunnel that led back to the underground lab beneath Jason's house, the same place where it all began. As they entered, the damage was everywhere. The walls were cracked. Sparks flew from broken machines, but the core still floated in the center, black, glowing, and silent. And Malik stood beside it. His armor was scratched, his mask cracked, but his red eyes burned brighter than ever. "I knew you'd come," he said without turning. "A bond always calls you back." Selyra stepped forward. "Let her go, Malik. The core belongs to no one." Malik turned, laughing. "You still think you're free? You think a human can change what you are?" Jason stood beside her. "She is free, and she's not alone." Raised his hand. A wave of dark energy rushed at them, but Selyra blocked it with ease. "I'm not your weapon anymore," she said firmly, "and I won't run." Jason stepped forward. "You made one mistake, Malik. You pushed her too far." Malik growled. "She was built for war, but she forgot what war feels like." He charged at them, fast and deadly. Jason swung his metal bat with all his strength. Hit Malik's arm, cracking the armor, but Malik struck back, sending Jason flying across the room. Selyra screamed. Her hands lit with blue fire. She shot beams of light toward Malik, hitting him in the chest. He stumbled, but didn't fall. "You can't kill me," he roared. Selyra's eyes glowed even brighter. "I don't have to. I just have to stop you." She flew forward, her energy surrounding her like a shield. Malik fought back with everything he had: dark blasts, sharp waves of shadow. Twisting the room into chaos, Jason pushed himself up, coughing, his body in pain. But he wouldn't let her fight alone. He grabbed the core's control panel. "Selyra, I can overload it." She looked at him in fear. "If you do that, the core will break." You could die. Jason gave a weak smile. You saved my life. Me save yours. He pressed the panel. The core began to hum louder, brighter. A siren echoed through the room. Malik noticed. What are you doing, human? Jason shouted. Giving you what you deserve. Malik rushed toward him, but Selyra grabbed him mid-air and slammed him against the wall. His whole body glowed like a sun. You don't get to take anything from me ever again, she screamed. The core's light grew stronger. Its glow filled the room. And then, boom, a wave of energy exploded in all directions. When the light faded, the room was quiet. Malik lay on the floor, his armor shattered. His red eyes were gone. Empty. Jason collapsed beside the core. Smoke rising from the control panel. Selyra ran to him, her hands shaking. Jason, stay with me. He opened one eye slowly and smiled. You didn't think I'd leave you. Now, did you? Tears filled her eyes. She hugged him tight. You fool, she whispered. You brave, stupid, beautiful fool. Jason coughed. So, is the war over? She nodded. It is now. Later, the house above was gone. The underground lab was silent, but in a small cabin deep in the woods, Jason and Selyra had found peace. Selyra now wore earth clothes, her silver hair tied back, her glow dimmer, calm. Jason lay on his bed, reading a book. She sat beside him, watching the sky. You ever miss the stars? He asked. Sometimes, she said. But now, I have something better. Jason raised an eyebrow. What's that? She smiled. Home. Jason reached out and took her hand. Strange how it all started with a bed and a war. She leaned closer. Now it's just us. They looked at each other, silent for a moment. Then she whispered, I love you. Jason smiled wide. I know. Final words, closing narration style. He was just a human. She was built for war. But together, they rewrote their fate. Because love, stronger than code, okay? And bonds, once made, can defeat even the darkest of stars. The end.